Uh, Hello, everybody. Pardon the messiness. I was literally outside working on my Jeep, and I can't. Not even 24 hours. Not even 24 hours after being served with an injunction against harassment, does Junior roll up to my house breaking the order. Now, I'm sure somebody out there is going to go, well, he technically didn't break the order because he didn't say anything to you. The defendant shall not go to or near the plaintiff's or other protected person's residence. And if that didn't make it clear enough for you, yeah. The following person should also be on the order, yada yada yada. Defendants shall be ordered to stay away from the locations at all times, even when I am not present. Residence. He's not allowed near my home. He doesn't even live in this city. Yet he pulls up outside my house every single day. Well, he's just getting the mail. That's not his house. In fact, since a week ago, it's not even his dad's house. Yeah, it hasn't been his dad's house for a week. The kid has no claim to the house. So, I mean, I'm outside working on my Jeep, trying to get stuff figured out. Since this little punk ass bastard screwed with my Jeep, so it no longer runs. I can't even get it to start, and it's because of something he did to it while I was in Walmart. I mean, this kid had at least an hour to tinker with my vehicle while I was inside. Closing up shop, I wanted to get all of this extra time in here so that people could understand that I'm not out here yelling. I'm not out here walking around trying to get, anybody's attention. It's just a calm afternoon, very, very sunny out. Here comes Junior. That's me. He's not allowed near my property, including my truck. Throwing out some stuff because I got a bunch of junk mail that I received. Plus, I got my packages for my parts and whatnot. I'm just clearing up garbage because I had a handful of tools and metal bracket because I removed the bracket for my jack that goes inside the hood. I removed that bracket because I kept getting cut on it trying to fix stuff. And he was out there for 60 seconds. How long does it take to check the mail when it's right there next to your hand? This this is what I was doing. My dogs are out there. I'm out there closing up shop. Yeah. I mean, I grabbed the mail while I was out there because I figured, run the dogs, fix the stuff, get the mail, do everything all at once. Because there's no point in me going out there and letting the dogs sit inside. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be watching them. I can see them. They're right there. They're watching me. Now, this entire time that I'm doing all this stuff, before he even pulls around the corner, it's like, I know that he was watching the house. Because he does it every time. Now, he nodded at me. He did that as he was driving by. Or up. Now, he checks the mail. He gets in his vehicle. And he sits there. And then the slow drive off. He's not allowed near my property. Now, I showed that to the officers. And they said, I showed this to the officers. They said, this doesn't mean what you think it means. This does not mean, it does not mean that he can't be near my house. It just says he can't be on my property. No, if it meant that he's not allowed to be on my property, then it would say that he's not allowed on my property. He's already been trespassed from my property. The trespass says that he can't be on my property. This says he can't be near my property because he's harassing me. Now, that falls into a whole other bag of worms. Because that falls under, where is that? 132921. That is harassment. If he stops at one end or the other of my street and watches my house, that is considered surveilling. That is a class 1 misdemeanor. But the moment he surveils my house, it becomes harassment. Harassment under class 1 misdemeanor, but because I have an injunction against him, it bumps it up to 132921.01, which becomes aggravated harassment, which is a class 6 felony. The cops keep telling me this is the wording that they're saying. I'm not going to file this or charge him because I don't believe that the DA or the prosecutor would go through with it. How do you fucking know unless you try? You are a cop. You are an officer of the law. The law says that he's not allowed to go near my property. The trespass says he's not allowed to go on my property. Telling me that you're not going to serve the order or enforce it because you want to be the prosecutor, then it tells me that you're a bad cop. Now, I back the blue. I defend good cops day in, day out. But the police in this city, I cannot trust. I have no faith in my own police department because police officers are telling me I'm not going to take this to the prosecutor because I don't believe that they'd want me to. Okay. let's see. You work for somebody and they tell you this item is not supposed to go on that truck ever. Somebody puts it on that truck, and then somebody complains to you that somebody put that on the truck, and then you go, I'm not going to yell at them for putting it on that truck because I don't think the management would care. Management already told you that that's how that goes and that's how it's supposed to be. He was ordered. He was ordered last night at around 11 o'clock that he's not allowed to come near my property ever again for at least 2 years, because that's how long this is for, 2 years. So this happened at almost 5 o'clock or something like that. So we're looking at 7, 9, 19 hours? 19 hours, I think. 18, 19 hours, something like that. And he already broke the order. So now I have to go down to the city court tomorrow and go to victim services again and be like, hey, I've got an order of protection or an injunction against harassment. This judge saw fit because there was enough probable cause. And then the police are saying, that doesn't mean what it says. That's not how it's worded wrong. The police, the supervisor, I demanded a supervisor. The supervisor said, this is worded wrong, and we're not going to handle it. We're not going to charge him. We're not going to press any charges. We're not going to go look for him. We're just going to tell you, better luck next time. What am I supposed to do? Imagine if I was your teen daughter. Imagine if I was your wife. Would you take that lying down? Would you honestly, as a parent, say, well, him just showing up to the house after he's been told by the police and the courts that he's not supposed to show up at the house, that's okay. He'll eventually get his. He'll eventually mess up somehow. Would you take that? Would you take that as an answer of the court order's written wrong, so we're not going to do anything about it? You need to do you need to just let it slide. The law's written the way the law's written. I mean, you cannot just say, well, it's not really written that way now, is it? 132921 harassment. Contacts or causes communication with another person, verbal, electronic, and all that stuff. That's section 1, A1. A3. Surveils or causes a person to surveil another person. Him sitting at the end of the street watching my house is surveillance. They don't care. The police do not care whatsoever. 132921.01 Aggravated harassment. A person commits aggravated harassment if the person commits harassment as provided in section 132921 and, at the time of the offense, any of the following applies. The court has issued any of the following orders in favor of the victim of harassment. The order was served on the person and the order was valid at the time of the offense. An injunction against harassment issued pursuant to Section 12-1809. That's what this is. Him surveilling my house. Him stopping at the corner and looking at my house, looking at in my house's direction, is surveillance. That's plain and simple. It's surveillance. There's no well maybe, well kinda. It's a gray area. No, him pulling up to the corner, stopping, looking, and verifying that somebody's here or gone or whatever. That is harassment. And under this, it's aggravated harassment. Now, under normal harassment, it's a Class 1 misdemeanor. Under this, it is a Class 6 felony. They don't want to prosecute for either. They really don't care. They don't care at all. 1329.04, disorderly conduct. Person commits disorderly conduct if with the intent to disturb the peace or quiet of a neighborhood, family, or person, or with knowledge of doing so, such person engages in fighting, violent or seriously disruptive behavior, makes unreasonable noise, or uses abusive language or offensive language or gestures to any person present in a manner to provoke physical retaliation. Any like gang signs, flipping the bird, saying something that would antagonize me. That's disorderly conduct. They don't want to charge him with that. I mean, they tell me, well, it's not. Technically, he's got the right to do whatever and say whatever, and it's no, he doesn't. He does not at all. I mean, I'm literally going through all of these laws, and the police are telling me we don't care. We don't care what it says, because what it says is not what the court is going to do. So we're not going to take it to court. How do you know what the court's going to say? How do you know what the prosecutor's going to say if you keep going around them? As a cop, you are not there to play judge, jury, executioner. You're not there to interpret the law. You're not there to make judgment calls in favor of or against. You're not there to do the judgment calls and say, I don't think the prosecutor's going to want to do this, so I'm not going to tell them about it. Because right there, you're abusing your power as a police officer. And it is harming our community. It's plain and simple. It is endangering our community. It is. Police see what's going on. They see the videos. I send them videos. I send them evidence of incidents. They tell me, I'm not going to pursue this. I'm not going to take it any further than filing a report. I'm not even going to show it to a prosecutor. Because I don't think, as an officer, that the prosecutor would want to see this. That's not up to you as an officer. And it drives me nuts. It really does. It's like the whole neighborhood lives in fear of this little shit because he's out here swinging hammers, walking around with a freaking one of those the long bladed X-Acto knife things that you can break off little pieces. He's got that type of box cutter, blade fully extended, just walking around with it. Do they care? No. That's brandishing a weapon. That is hell, what is that called? That is brandishing a weapon, or it falls under a thing, and you know, Another thing we got here is 132923. That is stalking, classification, exceptions, definitions. That is a person commits stalking if the person intentionally or knowingly engages in a course of conduct that is directed toward another person, and if that conduct causes the victim to suffer emotional distress, reasonably fear for their safety, the property safety, damage, destruction, fear physical injury, injury or death for family, friends, pets, fear that your property, like your car or something, is going to be damaged or destroyed. Uh, and all you have to do is have that fear, and the person has to have a continuing pattern of it in order for it to be considered stalking. 9 months. 9 months of this guy coming to the house over and over and over and over and over. And they're saying, well, that's not stalking. That's not stalking at all. Well, what is it then? Well, he's just getting the mail. Getting the mail at a home he doesn't live at, doesn't have any claim to, and started stealing the mail a couple months ago, like 3 months ago. He started stealing the mail because his dad stopped coming around because his dad's wanted. Well, he's wanted too, but the cops said, well, we're not going to arrest him because we promised not to arrest him if he let us serve this paperwork. This paperwork was served to him on the promise that the officer serving it would not arrest him on his multiple outstanding warrants, not arrest him for driving again without a license, without registration, without insurance, and then met him and allowed him to drive away, breaking the law. I do not understand how hard it is to prosecute shit. You break the law, the officer writes you a citation for said broken law. The prosecutor gets the citation, says yes or no to prosecuting on such thing, then goes to court or doesn't go to court. These officers are skipping that middle section by saying, we're not going to give this to the prosecutor. We're not going to file any paperwork. We're just going to let it slide. We're going to drop it and walk away. How is anybody going to get safer? How is anybody going to feel safe in a neighborhood when the police are refusing to do their jobs? How is it that the police are allowed to go around the prosecutor's office and deny people the rights? I live in fear. I walk my dogs armed to the teeth. I've got brass knuckles. I've got a 7-inch knife. And I'm saying 7 inches as in that's the blade length, not the length of the whole knife. The whole knife is around 15 and a half inches, end to end, unfolded. I walk with a gun. Most of the time, more than one gun. When I'm out walking the neighborhood and just out for a stroll, just to burn energy, just to get exercise, I am usually carrying around 80 rounds of ammunition in my magazines combined. I have 2 firearms, brass knuckles, my knife. I don't leave this house unless I'm armed. I don't check the mail unless I'm armed. I mean, I'm sitting right here. Uh, I've got items here next to me on the desk, I have a pistol that is with a binary trigger. I have my rifles. My nightstand has 5 firearms. My closet has right around $20,000 in firearms. If I spit in any direction in this room, it is going to hit a firearm or a knife. I've got multiple swords, I've got multiple machetes, I've got stuff everywhere. Most of it's hidden, most of it is, you know, safe. I I've got I've got 2 pistols mounted under my brand new desk. Just because you never know. I don't know what this kid's gonna do. This kid's already burglarized houses. He's kicked in front doors and chased elderly women. When this kid was 8 years old, it took a 260-pound man to drag him out of an elderly woman's home after he had ripped the wall sconces off her garage, kicked in her front door, and then chased her into a bedroom where she locked herself into a bathroom. It took a full-grown adult man to drag him out. And even then, that kid came back and slashed that man's tires. And what are we doing? Nothing. I mean, how are we supposed to grow as a society? How are we supposed to feel safe as a society if the laws that are broken are not enforced? How are we supposed to do any of this? It's just bullshit. And I'm sick of it. I really am. I used to back the blue, but I'm seriously going the other way because they are not helping us here. Not in this town. It's sad.